This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. Do you still want to listen? Go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Welcome back to the Patriots Dynasty Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Brown. With me are the beautiful brothers. We are all, for some reason, dressed the same today. With our baby blue shirts and our backwards
It's just
caps.
brother intuition.
I guess so. We didn't even call each other for this. It just happened. Do you love it when that happens?
Colin Cowherd would be pissed off.
Why?
Because we're all matching?
No, because he hates people that wear their hat backwards.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He was calling out Carson Wentz, saying he's like immature for wearing his hat backwards at a press conference.
How dare he? You never see Cam Newton wear a backwards hat. That's for sure.
That's probably true.
You can't tell if a top hat's backwards or forwards, though.
See? Loophole, baby. So was the argument that the hat was backwards or that he had a hat on at all? Like if he had worn it forwards, would that have been okay?
Yeah. It's the backwards that got a bee in his bonnet.
Oh, man. That's a shame.
It's a shame. Poor Colin Cowherd. That poor guy.
Wow. Speaking of cow herding, no, I couldn't do it. I couldn't fit that in. This week is 2003 week 3. We're getting along in the 2003 season. It's been kind of more enjoyable than last season. I think I realize why. It's because there's a payoff at the end of the season. So the wins are fun to watch, and the losses don't matter as much because you know how it ends.
Yeah, none of those. Oh man, if we only won this game, then.
Exactly. But yeah, this is the Jets coming to town. The 0-2 New York Jets struggling on the season. We've kind of talked. These Jets aren't much different than in the past.
Well, we covered in the Chad Pennington deep dive, right? Because he must have got hurt in that 4th preseason game, so like 3 games ago.
Right.
And they're back to the well with Vinny.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. The only real difference from the last time we saw them was the starting quarterback is back to Vinny Testaverde. Vinny Greenhead?
Greenhead.
Decided?
Yep. Old Greenhead himself.
Green testicle.
And what a difference it makes. Final score.
Difference indeed. Final score 23-16, something like that.
Yeah, it wasn't even that close,
Yeah.
I feel like.
It wasn't
What
that
do you think,
far.
Greg, since you watched the whole thing? How did you feel the ebbs and flows of the game?
I did not watch this one. I give it a 2 out of 6.
All right.
That's
There wasn't much noteworthy. I don't know. These Jets games, it's always the same roster. Like the Bills, you got the Bledsoe stuff. The Dolphins, I guess, are kind of entered to the Jets. They just bore me in this generation. They're not terrible, but they're not good. They're just kind of like eh.
I'm gonna give it a 3 Super Bowl trophies and an AFC championship.
Okay.
Because while I agree with you, Greg, not a lot going on in this game. You got to bump it up 1 trophy just because you're beating the Jets.
I knew that's where you're headed with that. Yeah, I was going to give it 3 because it's beating the Jets, but I kind of do it by how many highlights I can pull from a game when I'm doing it, and so I can put them on the website. And I think there were 4 total highlights in this entire game. I think they were 2 of them were in the first quarter and the other 2 were in the fourth quarter. It was not. There was a big gap in the middle that was just borderline unwatchable.
As we discussed before we started recording, though, Andy, you missed the good lowlights.
Yeah, I don't add other teams' highlights to a Patriots website. It feels.
Why not?
Well, it's not their highlights. This is the stuff
playing
that
the
they don't
Patriots.
want us to see. Right? This is the stuff they're ashamed of.
Are you censoring?
Well,
No.
Greg, I don't know if you saw this play or not, but the fake field goal pass to Kevin Mawai, the center.
Yeah, Kevin Mawai.
All right, we're just gonna get into this. We're not gonna talk about the Jets. Great. Yeah. So
Who do you want to talk about the Jets, Andy?
Yeah, we just said how shitty they are, and no one gives a fuck.
I have a trivia question for you.
Okay.
Since in honor of Vinny Testaverde being back,
You mean Vinny Greenhead?
Tom Brady just this week was named NFC Player of the Month, right?
Correct.
Today, maybe actually yesterday, something like that. And he became the fourth QB to win it in both the AFC and the NFC. Can you name the other three?
Vinny Testaverde.
Yeah, duh.
It's one of them. Yeah. He did it three separate times. Once with
Ryan
the Bucks
Fitzpatrick.
in 1990. No, that was one of my guesses, but nope.
Oh.
Bucks, Browns, and Jets was Vinny Testaverde.
Drew Brees.
No.
McNabb. Is it like this generation guys?
They're names you've heard of, but they're kind of earlier than this. The other two.
That's a deep
Yeah.
cut. I mean, I wasn't born.
Yeah, you've seen both of them play. One is an announcer on the radio, I think.
Phil Simms.
No.
Chris Collinsworth?
He played for the Bengals. He started in the Bengals.
Carson
And
Palmer?
And then went to the Jets, and then went to the Cardinals. And
Just
was named
say it.
Player of the Month.
We're not going to
Boom.
Yeah.
Boomer Esiason.
I never would have got that in a million years.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right. And the other one's Warren Moon. Good.
I also never would have got that.
Useless.
Useless.
Absolutely useless.
That's so obscure.
Yeah. Cool trivia question, Andy. You're like the guy who runs bar trivia and is asking like differential equation shit.
Oh, dude, bar trivia people are the worst.
Not my fault. You boys are fucking idiots. Fucking
Yes, go
big
kind
dick,
of.
big dick dummies up in here. Jesus. All right, fine. Speaking of big dick dummies, let's talk about this field goal, fake field goal.
It was what, 6-3 in the
6-3 Pats. No, we're in the second quarter now. Pats had just kicked a field goal. Well, actually, the Pats had driven down inside the Jets' 5-yard line twice on their first two drives, and settled for field goals on both of them. So that's cool. Because Brady kept getting sacked on third down too, which is great. So Pats up 6-3, and the Jets drive to their New England 20-yard line. And instead of kicking a field goal to tie it, they attempt a fake field goal where they snap it to the punter, who throws it to their starting center, who for some reason was lined up on the wing on this play instead of a tight end or something like that. Kevin Y hits him in the hands. Not a perfect pass. He's also double covered, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, by Teddy Bruschi.
And Mike Vrabel, I believe. Yeah. So tightly covered, throws into double coverage and incomplete. And no, I'm not going to put that on a website. My website's better than that.
I just want to laugh at the Jets, dude.
Did you hear Herm Edwards
on the website?
Yeah, that's because it was a play that the Patriots made. It was a fumble recovery that they returned for a touchdown. Why would you not put that on there? This is just a bumbling circus show.
Look, the butt fumble has the word bum in it.
Did you hear Herm Edwards talk about it?
No.
Yeah.
They interviewed him after the game and they asked him. He actually had a pretty good response. He's basically like, yeah, we suck, but why not try shit? You know, I'm not gonna go out there and just play boring football and lose every game. He's like, I'm gonna do things that are different to try and win games. He literally almost said you play to win the game quote. He in different words, he said basically that, which
so he's sticking to his guns. Yeah.
I kind of respect it. If I was supporting a shitty team, I'd be like, let's try a fake field. Let's do something, because this blows just watching
I'm in.
Bad, boring football. Fuck that.
Yep. I mean, the Browns always have fun teams, right?
Well, what year was that you play to win the game? Viral clip of him.
It's that
probably.
I think it was 2000. It sounds like
it was in this general time frame. I'm pretty sure. I think we looked up before and decided that.
Oh, I found an oral history of memorable moments.
2002, I think.
So it's the season before then. Yeah.
October 30th, 2002.
So he's just repeating himself.
The Jets made the playoffs in 2002.
They did.
And October would be
playoffs. Speaking of famous quotes.
Well, that was 2001, I believe, that quote. Because that was when Peyton Manning couldn't stop throwing interceptions.
yeah.
Playoffs. I was hoping to win a game.
It's the golden age of hilarious
Quotable head coaches.
I'm a man. I'm 40. Come after me. That guy is my favorite. He's still kicking around.
Is he?
Yeah.
Still doing the college circuit?
I think he's still at Oklahoma State.
Oh, goddamn.
I think he got in trouble recently for some insensitive things he said. If you can imagine that.
I mean, to bring it back to Herm Edwards' play calling there on that fake, it makes sense considering Kevin Mawai never ever caught a pass ever in his NFL career. So, good
yeah,
call.
I feel like it was one of those things where like the idea behind it was good. It's just the execution was kind of hot garbage.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, let's roll a
like if you have a backup QB as your holder, okay. Or if you have a tight end out there, like, you know, the Patriots used to have Gronk basically in that exact spot blocking for field goals. So that seems to make a bit more sense.
And like we've thrown it to offensive linemen, like in that Ravens game in the playoffs, when they used that ineligible receiver guy to trick him, but he was wide open, you know, like literally zero people were covering him, not our two best coverage linebackers.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of misdirection happening. But it didn't really matter because this second quarter was kind of a hot mess. Patriots got that. I felt like while I've been watching these first three games, knowing what's coming ahead and like we're going to see one more loss in the next like 20 something episodes, this does not look like a team that's about to reel off a bunch of wins.
No, they're dropping like flies.
They're getting hurt, because like there's a ton of injuries already. Even in this game, Roosevelt Colvin is out for the season with like he had that hip injury, which I completely forgotten about until they mentioned it in this game. Where like he had some sort of fracture in his hip or something like that. And they were like super cagey about it, and it just turned out like he couldn't play the rest of the season. And he was their big offseason signing. And then in this game, Ted Washington goes down, with a leg injury. And the commentators, we're not even going to talk about who it was because I'll get all riled up. We're talking about how, actually, no, it was the sideline. It was Leslie on the sideline talking about how, because he was down, the guys replacing him were both 70 pounds lighter than he was as that nose tackle guy, because Ted Washington weighed in at 360 pounds. And the guys replacing him were a lightweight, a svelte 290.
I have a lot of notes on this.
Okay, this is not what I expected you to have your notes. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, this is where it started, was good old Mount Washington, a.k.a. the Washington Monument.
Oh.
At 6'5", he went up to at least 375 during his playing days. So he was like, he was about 365, and they actually asked Matt Chatham about it.
Yeah,
and Chatham had a quote: "Once you get to that weight, you stop stepping on the scale." They're like, "What is he the truly?" Numbers anyway? Yeah, like, what is he truly? And it's like, it's no one really knows, but it's a fuckload, you know.
So how many C's would you put in thick for Ted Washington when describing him?
I mean, he is a thick,
like 7 or 8, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he's like legendarily thick. But that got me thinking, like, what are the heaviest players that have ever played? So I went.
This is why we keep you around.
Yeah, so I went down that rabbit hole.
I am interested to hear where this leads.
Yeah, so there's a few. Nate Newton played for the Cowboys. Their Super Bowl teams. He won 3 Super Bowls, 6 Pro Bowls. He was 6'3", 401 pounds.
Wow.
At 6'3", which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
His nickname was The Kitchen because he was that much bigger than the fridge. William Perry.
There's nothing better than like fat football names. And
I'll get to the fridge, but the heaviest player ever to play was Aaron Gibson.
Let us guess how heavy it was.
Okay.
Steve, what's your guess?
4.25.
Oh, that's what I was going to guess. I'm going to say 430.
He was 410 pounds.
Oh.
But he played at 440 in high school. In high school.
What?
So he dropped weight to make
Was he offensive lineman?
He was 6'6", 410.
Damn.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was the biggest. Well, I mean, a lot of these guys, I think when you get past like 350, there's like multiple numbers floating around. But
yeah.
I'm just going
Start
based
guessing.
on the best.
The
numbers
scales
I
stopped
have.
working
Yeah.
once you pass 350.
No, you just don't even step on him anymore.
Was that too?
So obviously one of the most famous ones is William the Refrigerator Perry. I mean, he was part of that Super Bowl that scored a touchdown against the Patriots. What was it, Super Bowl 20?
So back in 86, whatever.
Yeah. The number.
So he was 6'2", 385. So he's shorter and slightly fatter or thicker than Ted Washington.
He played on the defensive line, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But he also
played a fullback, which is why he got so famous.
Mm-hmm.
He weighed 200 pounds at 11 years old.
Wow.
And apparently he was like a freak athlete at that, like middle school, high school age. Like he used to run the 100-yard dash for his high school. He could do like a 360 dunk. He was on 11th. They're saying he was on the diving team.
He's on the what team?
Diving team.
A guy that big that on the diving team, he can only dive once. They have to refill the pool.
I would have loved to see.
Right?
I looked this up because my point of comparison for fat guys is Vince Wilfork.
Right. Yeah.
That's a pretty, he's like a big dude, not massive. Do you have any guesses on what he weighs?
360.
He's
kind of short though, right?
300s. Yeah,
325 at 6'2".
Yeah.
6'2".
6'2", 325.
So Nate Newton 6'3", 401 is just insanity, dude. Because the height has a lot to do with it, right? Like tall.
Yeah. You got more place to put it.
Yeah. Because even I have some other notables. Trent Brown, he was 6'8", 380. So he didn't quite look as wide as Wilfork did, but he's just a huge dude. So I think that plays a lot into it. So more on the fridge here. He had the largest Super Bowl ring ever fitted. It was a size 25, where the normal male adult has a size 10 to 12. So it's more than
size 25. You can fit that over a hot dog.
Yeah, that's like,
God damn.
I'm assuming that's like, is that the same as like your waist? Is that the same measurement?
Probably.
Because that's like almost, I could almost fit that on as like pants, dude. If that's what that measurement is.
I don't think it is, but we're gonna go with it.
Yeah. So obviously
you are the stat check guy.
He got really like famous during those Super Bowl days because he was kind of like that, like, funny guy. He scored touchdowns. Everybody knew him. They used to sell like toys with him on it and shit like that.
He had a great nickname.
So then I further went down the rabbit hole to a 2002 celebrity boxing match between the Fridge and Manute Bol.
What?
Wait, the basketball player?
The basketball player.
Tall and skinny though, right? Like,
yeah.
Tall and skinny is the most wildly unexaggerated way to define Manute Bol.
Paint me a picture.
Tall and skinny, he is a legitimate stick bug.
Yeah.
He weighed in height at 7'7", 240 pounds.
Damn.
7'7".
40.
What's the reach on that though?
102.
Okay.
What, do you have like a video of this boxing match?
There's a video on YouTube.
Oh, how long is it?
It's like 15 minutes.
Damn, that boxing match went for that long?
So Perry was 6'3". They had him listed as 350 plus. And the commentators noted that he broke our scale while weighing in. He's probably pushing 400. And let me tell you, he was not in good shape, the Fridge.
Well, this is 2002. He was in his prime in 86. Like,
yeah. And I think he struggled with his weight a little bit, and like some like I think he had some other issues going on. But he like they show the hype up videos of them like training in the gym.
Yeah,
it's worth watching for that because the Fridge is wearing a Hawaiian shirt and a Kangol hat. And he's just like lazily punching at a bag. And then like Manute Bol's like shadow boxing or like sparring with a guy who's like 5'4", and it's just the most ridiculous visual you've ever seen.
Who won?
Manute Bol won in a landslide. I'm pretty sure Fridge didn't even throw a punch. He was just kind of like, he was so beat and like he was just cutting a check, you know?
That's kind of why I'm surprised that the video is 15 minutes long, because I didn't think the Fridge could go for that long.
Yeah, they went 3 rounds.
Weighing in at 4 bills.
Perry, he didn't really punch. He kind of did some shoves towards the end. The ref said, "You better start." He said, "You better start fighting, or we're not going to pay you." The ref legitimately said that.
The ref said that to him. Yeah. Oh shit!
But Manute Bol was doing it to raise money for Sudan. He's Sudanese.
Yeah.
And I kind of like did a little brief look into him. He's a pretty amazing dude, Manute Bol. Like he's an ambassador for Sudan. He's done tons of humanitarian work, and he's like super, super legit. So shout out Manute Bol and his son Bol. For real, Bol, first round draft pick.
Yeah, he's in the NBA, right?
Yeah, he's like Manute Bol with handles. It's ridiculous.
How tall is he? Is he 7+?
Same thing. I think he might not be quite as tall, but he's also
7'6".
stick bug status, you know.
Damn. All right.
Bug status.
Yeah, dude, they legit look like stick bugs. It's watching them play sports is fucking crazy.
Oh my goodness.
So you want to hear some other notables here? I just had a couple other guys that are on the list. Mekhi Becton, the Jets' first round pick from this previous draft.
Oh yeah.
6'7", 364. Went 11th overall. He ran his 40 faster than Tom Brady.
As if Vince Wilfork, we decided, yeah. Wait, how big was he though? 6'4",
6'7", 364.
Damn, that's a big dude.
Yeah, and he ran
the 40 in like 6 steps.
Yeah. He's a crazy athlete, man. I guess he's doing pretty well too for the Jets. And then the other guy I had, well, actually, Roy Williams from the Cowboys. Right, he was their safety.
Oh yeah.
He Bill Parcells nicknamed him Biscuit because he was one biscuit shy of a linebacker. I thought it was funny.
Wasn't that a quote about Kelvin Benjamin too? He was one biscuit away from a tight end.
That would make sense.
Somebody said that on like Monday Night Football. I think it was Booger said that on Monday Night Football.
Oh, Booger.
Joke
stealing from Bill Parcells again.
Again.
And then the fattest punter ever, Sav Rocca, 6'5", 265.
For the Giants?
I had him as the Washington
football team
name that shall be not named. Well, he wasn't the football team at the time.
The R words, yeah.
Yeah. He was an Aussie Rules football player that came over and played in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. I remember they loved him.
Boy, Aussies. I guess. Aussie Rules football.
Nailed it.
That's it. That's all my notes for the game.
Okay. Thanks for chiming in. Appreciate that. So for any of you who had on their bingo card, Greg goes down on a fat guy deep dive. You can check that off.
And ends up in basketball.
And talks about
Manute Bol's humanitarian work in Sudan. Gotta love the internet, guys. Gotta love the internet.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. All right. Well, that's
let's see. Bring this one back, Andy.
I don't know if I can. All right. Let's see.
Stick bugs.
Yeah. Well, we could have brought back around Trent Brown. He was on the Or Mekhi Becton. I mean, Jets offensive lineman. Speaking of Jets offensive lineman, how about that fake field goal they threw a pass to a Jets? What a fucking stupid play that was.
Oh, God, yeah. That's... I can't recover from all this fat boy talk. I'm just like, I'm a little hungry now. Yeah. What I want to know, Greg, is I think you should write a blog post about it. I want to know who the fastest fat guy was in terms of like 40 time to weight.
Yeah, BMI. I tried to look that up, like who was the highest BMI, like weight to
I'm just saying
ratio.
like the fastest fat dude. So in terms of like who was the fattest, yeah, but also ran the quickest, you know what I mean? So like somebody who's, 400 pounds.
Who had the greatest inertia?
Yeah.
Are we talking speed or velocity?
I don't know, dude. I don't even know what those words mean. Are they the same thing?
Well, velocity is just speed with direction, isn't it?
Yes.
You didn't see that coming, did you?
It's got to be
pulled that
right?
like
Yeah,
I was elbow deep up my ass right there.
11th grade physics there, and he just pulled out of his ass.
Not bad. I feel like I read that recently, so that's the only reason I know it. As you do. Speaking of velocity, we had another Tom Brady touchdown run in this game. In the third quarter of a week 3 game, this is the Patriots' first rushing touchdown of the season, which blew my mind. Didn't help that they also showed a stat Anton Smith on the season was averaging 1.8 yards a carry. So that's great. Can't imagine why. Yeah. Kevin Falk was averaging like 5 something, and he actually got most of the carries in this game.
He did. He out-carried him.
But they showed a stat earlier on in the game where they had rushing comparison on the season. Jamal Lewis, who I'm assuming was the leading rusher for the Ravens, had 364 rushing yards through 3 games and 3 touchdowns. Clinton Portis, 249 and 2 touchdowns. The Jets and Patriots combined, 245 yards and 1 rushing touchdown through 3 games.
For Curtis Martin.
Right. The Jets as a team in their first 2 games had accumulated 78 total rushing yards in the first 2 weeks. It was the 6th worst ever in the history of the NFL.
It's tough.
And they were saying that on the season there were 33 running backs, like individual running backs in the league that had rushed for more yards than that.
And they have Curtis Martin.
Right. So the Jets offense was the 34th ranked running back in terms of yards gained on the season.
He gets it together though, right? Curtis?
I think he ends up rushing for 1,000 yards on the season.
Yeah. It's
So
1,300 guys.
Yeah.
But 2 touchdowns. Team All-Pro the next year too. So this is not the downfall of Curtis Martin. It's just a slow start. Is that fair?
I think so, yeah. I think that's basically what happens here. It's just a slow start for the Jets in general. And I think they are still kind of recovering from the Chad Pennington thing, even though, which is weird because he must come back this season because he finished as the leading passer on the team.
Yeah, he does.
And Santana Moss went for over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, which is surprising because the Jets finished 6-10, last in the AFC East.
Is it that surprising though?
A little bit. They had.
I'm just saying the Jets blowing it.
I mean, they had Pro Bowler Sean Ellis with 12.5 sacks on the team.
He was the guy that they picked with the Belichick pick.
Right. Yeah. And also,
they also had a 40-year-old Vinny Testaverde.
That's true.
Starting at quarterback, so that's not going to help.
Good old Vinny.
I mean, I don't think Vinny was bad.
He was like you said, Greg. I feel that Pennington injury in the 4th preseason game fucked this team up for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Because you compare these games, and they're not too far apart. That when we lost at the end of 2002 and this one, they're only 5 games or so apart.
And they're coming off that like 41-0 thrashing of the Peyton Colts too in the playoffs. So they're coming into the season supposed to be good, right? They have high expectations.
Yeah.
And then they put Pennington in week 4 preseason. Fucking Herm, dude. Herm. The more I'm speaking this out loud and the more I'm saying it is Herm blew it, right?
Oh, so bad.
A fucking idiot.
And then he's like, well, fuck it. We're going to suck anyways. Let's call terribly designed big field.
Yeah. Now I'm pissed he said that because it's like they could have been good. They should be good. And he's out there just fucking around.
Oh, Jesus.
But even you mentioned this earlier, Andy, of like this team does not look like they're about to go rip off a huge.
Right. Like the offense looks completely out of sorts. They can't get a running game going. Brady looks like he's hurt.
Yeah.
Like he got hurt again in this. And we already talked about how he had his separated shoulder he was still dealing with.
That same one,
after the previous week's game against the Eagles, he had like a bad elbow and it got rocked again in this game. Like he was throwing and he got his arm caught. And it was like, and he was making these like weird mistakes. Like he went to pump fake and threw the ball backwards over his head.
Yeah. The old empty hand.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't like it's not raining or nothing. It wasn't cold. It was just a weird, like un-Brady like sort of thing.
Branch got hurt in this game too?
Oh yeah, we were talking about injuries, weren't we? And then we got on the fat guys.
Was it Patton that got hurt?
Patton went down, with a knee, didn't come back. Brady was hurt. Ty Law went down with an ankle injury that looked like it was broken. And he was like writhing on the floor. And then that opened the door for Asante Samuel to come in. And all he did was first play of the fourth quarter, got a pick 6 off of good old Vinny Testaverde for 55 yards. His first ever interception in the NFL.
It was a great one.
It was a fantastic pick 6.
It's the game turner. 7-point game at that point.
Yep.
Started the fourth. Probably they're like midfield.
Yeah. Well, so
they might be driving down for points.
Yeah, this is the drive where, like, right after the Patriots scored their only offensive touchdown with Brady running it in. And so the Jets had been kind of driving all day, and they kind of picked it up in the second half too. Like they drive down the field and then they do something stupid like try a fake field goal or not convert any third downs. I think they were like, I wrote it down somewhere. Like they were really bad on third. They were 1 for 13 on third down for the game.
Yikes.
So they drive all the way into New England territory and then get a third down and not convert it. So that's great. But so like Greg's saying, like the Jets get the ball back. They're driving again like they've been doing all day, get to about midfield. And I don't know. It wasn't a great throw.
No.
Asante picks it off.
Like in an out route and like tipped it up to himself.
Yeah.
Caught it before he went out of bounds.
Yeah, he knocked it into his own face mask and then knocked it straight up again.
I would define his like running as scampering.
Yes.
Do you think Asante Samuel was like a scamper? He always seemed to be like running I don't know. He felt like he was like Ty Law's like a heavy, like physical guy. And like Asante Samuel was just like, he was all quickness, like those bugs that are on water. Don't you think?
the water bugs. It's funny you say that because
they call it water bugs.
Water bugs.
Yeah, the water bugs.
What other bugs are getting after?
What is this? National Geographic?
It's Nature Hour with the Brown Brothers.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, listen to the Outside In podcast by NHPR. It's great.
No.
Yeah, let's talk about
Asante
Samuel's velocity.
Fuck yourself.
What's his,
Go fuck yourself, Andy. You yelled at me for hyping my show.
Which one?
Stuff you should know.
I mean, we promote different podcasts on this constantly.
Yeah, but only ones that I like.
Yeah, but and come on, people aren't trying to learn.
Yeah.
Why the fuck are they listening to us?
Because we're a bunch of big dick dummies.
Greg's deep dives into fat guys.
Yeah.
But speaking of Asante Samuel running style, they actually had a quote from Belichick about how Asante Samuel is, quote, built like a soccer player.
Yeah, he just built different.
Didn't explain what that means. Just that he's built. I don't know if that's like a dig at soccer players, Greg. Care to respond?
Yeah. Yeah, that just means they're not good in the weight room. That's all that means.
Well, at least you're honest about it.
Yep, trust me.
So when you were at UNH playing soccer, how many times did you lift weights?
I mean, I used to go occasionally. Kelly always tells the story of like she came like to my house and I was sleeping when I was supposed to be at lifting, but that was erroneous because I was supposed to be. I couldn't make lifting because I had class. I was just skipping class so I could sleep in. So if I went to the ones I was like supposed to, that I didn't have classes. But sometimes I skipped classes, but I wasn't going to skip class to go lifting. That's ridiculous.
You've got an interesting moral compass. I will say that.
Yeah. But we used to weightlift in the same weight room as the football team. And like the trainers, the weightlifting guys there were like, you'd see them with the football team and they'd be like hyped up, playing loud music, getting in people's faces, like
football stuff.
So much energy in that room. And then we would get there and they'd be like, okay, yeah, we wrote some workouts on the whiteboard, just do that. And then they just go in their office and chill. It's like, thanks, guys.
Put on some smooth jazz.
Yeah, thanks.
You guys can't handle the real stuff. So here you go.
Yeah, they did not give a shit about us. And probably for fair reason, we weren't as interested as football players were.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
What about the hockey players? I bet they probably lifted like football players, especially at a hockey school like UNH.
Right.
I don't think I was ever in there when they were lifting, but they were I think hockey in general, they're super casual attitude towards the sport.
Oh, really?
They're not like, oh, we got to work hard. They're more like,
yeah, I could see that actually.
Look how cool my flow is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, we used to see them do like fitness stuff outside and they were fucking around, slacking. They just looked like a bunch of dopes.
They had really big dongs.
Yeah, I think it's way more important to be skilled in hockey than it is to be fit, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like if your hand-eye coordination, your quickness,
level of fitness.
Yeah.
It's certainly a really hard sport to play it from a fitness level.
But
right.
Greg, you played hockey for a while too, didn't you? And like you said, it was miserably hard.
No, not fitness-wise. Like
I thought because you told me it was like
hard of it, like skating. Skating's just such a unique skill, and it's like it's really hard sport to like break into and get past the first learning curve. Once you can skate, it's okay, but the first I came into it late and I was terrible and it was fucking miserable for like 2 years.
Didn't you used to use the boards to stop because you didn't know how to stop?
I couldn't stop. That was a problem for a while. Fitness-wise,
we stuffed Curtis Martin on that first drive on 3rd and 2.
Speaking of running backs, Kevin Falk, MVP of the 2002 season, like we talked about, continuing that run. Yeah. He had a mixed day. They talked about how he was the all-time kick return leader, which I thought, I don't know if that's a real thing or still stands. Turns out it does. And not only that, he leads Patriots kick returners in terms of yards by, like another quarter. He ended his career with 4,098 kick return yards.
But Patriots all time or all time?
Patriots all time.
Okay.
In second place is Ellis Hobbs. Pretty good. 2,913 return yards.
He's doubled them up.
Well, not quite, but yeah. It's an extra 1,000 on top, basically.
Well, didn't they change where they kick off from? There's way more touchbacks now.
Yeah.
There are now, yeah.
Yeah.
So this will never be broken.
That'll never be broken, right?
Yep.
Unbreakable records. That intrigues me.
Number 3 is Dave Meggett. Greg, your favorite.
Yeah,
touch that one. 2,500 yards. And right behind him was the other kick returner in this game, Bethel Johnson.
Bethel, that's interesting.
He flashed a little bit in the game, too.
Yeah, he did. He's done okay this season. Wow. All right.
What did he flash for you, Steve?
Talent.
Yeah, I know, but like, can you explain the plays maybe, or what he did that?
He took the ball and
for somebody who perhaps didn't watch
Bethel
the
Johnson.
game.
Like, there's only one highlight of
like
Bethel.
all our listeners, Andy. Like, you can't just say shit and just think like, saying. Everyone who's listening is going to agree. They didn't watch the fucking game.
It's Bethel Johnson. He only has one type of highlight. He catches the ball and then goes really fast.
All right.
Wow, that guy's pretty fast.
Actually, he had one other highlight that didn't involve him with the ball running really fast. It involved him running down Santana Moss on a punt return because they were both really fast. And the only person on the field that can run down Santana Moss is Bethel Johnson.
Hit him with the old Daniel Graham. Ben Watson?
Ben Watson. It wasn't Daniel Graham. The DK Metcalf?
Yeah, the DK Metcalf. Yeah.
That's what it is now. So I was actually thinking in this game that if we have some younger listeners, we may want to kind of explain who these people we're talking about now are in terms of current players.
Ooh, I like that.
And
Modern
so the one
comparisons.
the one that stuck out to me was Vinny Testaverde is the original Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Do not. What do you mean?
Journeyman
Who flashes everywhere he plays.
I mean,
he's never like a true starter.
Do you think
he's
he
that
flashes?
He was what did I say? He's the only one of 4 quarterbacks to get AFC and NFC Player of the Month, and he did it with 3 different teams, including Belichick's Browns.
He passes Johnny Unitas in this game on the all-time list
for 40,000 passing yards.
Yeah.
He was like one of 8 guys.
Part of that is longevity, but we've discussed this earlier as well. Of like, you got to be good enough to be around long enough.
Yeah,
there's a certain level of freshness you need to hit.
He wasn't.
Maybe I'm one of the younger listeners because I only really remember Testaverde from like 2000 onwards. So he's drafted in 87. So I probably missed like the real flashes where you're like, this guy has talent.
Yeah, played a shit ton in Tampa.
By the time I watched him play, it was kind of just like he was serviceable, not like you could get like a huge win out of this guy.
Oh yeah. He's 15th in career passing yards right now.
Still pretty good.
It's a lot. And he's 12th in sacks.
He got so many opportunities. It's crazy.
Yeah, he was all over the place. He was the one that replaced was it Bernie Kosar in Cleveland.
Yeah,
when Belichick was there. Yeah, and they eviscerated him for it.
He started 16 games in Dallas in 2004. Like, what the fuck? Like, how are you going to pick up a 41-year-old quarterback and start him the whole year?
Dude, he started 6 games in 07 for Carolina.
He went 5-10. What? That's Bill Parcells, right? That's Bill Parcells?
04, I think it may have been.
04 Cowboys. Bill Parcells scooped up a 41-year-old Vinny Testaverde and was like, we're rolling with this guy for the year.
He knew him.
What a fucking idiot, dude.
It must have been because Drew Henson went down, because Drew Henson was 1-0 on the season.
Okay, that makes sense.
He started 1 game but played in 7, so maybe not. What the fuck?
Oh, Greenhead.
Oh, Vinny Greenhead.
So yeah, Vinny Testaverde is
old school Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, he is the early 2000s Ryan Fitzpatrick. Who else do we have? I had another one, but I forgot it now. It slipped my mind.
Curtis Martin, who's his comparison? I mean, there really
is quiet workhorse running back.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, I like that one.
Oh, that's not a bad one. Yeah, that's pretty good.
First ballot Hall of Famer.
Productive as shit year in, year out.
Is productive longer than you'd expect him to be.
Yeah.
That's a good one, Steve.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see, Rodney Harrison. Who would you compare Rodney Harrison to these days?
Like Tyrann Mathieu, maybe.
More physical.
It's somebody who plays a bit like
Jamal Adams. Talks a lot. Adams super confident. Heavy hitter. Like playmaker, ball hawk type.
Or
Yeah,
even
maybe.
Earl Thomas might be a good comp too, because
that's not a bad one.
one of those, you hate him if he's not on your team, but if he's on your team, you kind of love him.
Yeah.
Except apparently everybody who's actually on the team hates him.
He's part of that
Ron
like
Harrison,
Legion of
but
Boom.
Earl
Yeah.
Thomas.
Right. But yeah, he's kind of that like always walking the line. You want it when he's on your team, you fucking love the guy, but if he's playing for somebody else, you can't stand him. Oh, I had another one. I think.
Well, what about Cam Chancellor? He's retired now, but
Yeah. Just
I think
kind
he's
of
just
like
a
that
bit more
Legion of
physical
Boom
player.
sort of
Yeah. I think he's a little more
yeah.
physical than what's his name?
throwing his weight around. But here's one that started me thinking it, because this is what popped into my head when I'm watching Christian Fourier. You look great, Steve. Christian Fourier is, I think, a bargain basement version of Travis Kelce. They look and play exactly the same.
You're just saying that because they're both white, Andy.
No, their mannerisms and the way they run routes and everything are exactly the same. Is Travis Kelce white?
Is
Are you calling
Kelce
Travis
color.
Kelce a racist?
No.
Does
Why?
Travis Kelce hate Asian people?
What? Where is this coming from?
Didn't Fourier get in trouble for imitating
Oh yeah, he did
Don
recently.
Yee? Yeah.
Travis Kelce's white. I have to check these things after Patrick Mahomes.
I know.
I had no fucking clue that guy was black. That's ridiculous.
That's what that throwback was.
Love that.
But yeah, they look and play exactly the same, and just that like quick like run 5 yards down the field, turn and sit, and then catch the ball. And if you don't catch the ball, you complain to the referees that you are being held, and make some pretty acrobatic catches in the end zone sometimes, but also drops easy passes. They have a similar feel to them to me.
Who's like Brewski and Willie McGinnis? Like some of the linebackers, edge guys.
I don't know if there are comps anymore, just because of how big linebackers used to be back in the day. Like that's not a thing anymore.
I almost said Van Der Esch, but I think that's because I was thinking white middle linebacker.
Maybe you are racist, Greg. We're just
Maybe.
uncovering this now.
No,
I would say-
Van Der Esch and Willie McGinnis are the same.
No.
Explain why.
I'm just trying to recover for you, Greg. Because
Okay.
I don't know about McGinn. I think for middle linebacker, I think. Oh my God! Now that he's not.
Well,
on
I
the
have
team,
a good
just
one.
Stop thinking. Who is the middle linebacker last year for the Pats?
Hightower.
Jesus Christ!
Van Noy?
Yes. No, Hightower. Thank you. I think Hightower would probably be a reasonable comp for Teddy Bruschi, maybe.
Brewski
Like-
was like a playmaker guy though. Like
Yeah.
he's all these pick sixes we're seeing him make. I feel like Hightower never did that.
Like Ted Johnson was Landon Roberts.
Ted, yeah, the
And
thumper,
Brewski is
the run stopper.
sort of like Hightower.
Yeah, I think that's the closest you're going to get on this.
And then Vrabel was their version of Jamie Collins, more athletic and coverage oriented, and
Yeah.
blitzing.
Or like a Rob Ninkovich.
And then
Honestly,
Richard
same.
Seymour is just a watered down Julius Peppers.
Whoa, other way around. I think
Julius Peppers
also-
is better than Richard Seymour. I can say that. Richard Seymour was great. Don't get me wrong, but Julius Peppers was an absolute monster.
well,
But
I
that's
think
in
they just
body
play
type,
different
though,
positions.
like just like a tall but super athletic.
Yeah.
So I'm reading the Christian Fourier thing about when he got in trouble.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous.
I knew
So
it was
there-
quiet for too long. I knew something was going on.
It was about Don Yee, Brady's agent,
Uh-huh.
right? And basically the crux of the joke that they're trying to make on EEI was that they had expected Don Yee to have an Asian accent, but he didn't have an Asian accent.
Because he's probably born in America.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh my
So
God.
he starts like they actually play Don Yee like audio and be like,
Right.
isn't this crazy? This guy doesn't have an Asian accent. And then he starts reading fake Don Yee text in a normal voice, but they put soft bamboo flute music in the background, and then he slips back
What?
into Asian Don Yee.
What the fuck?
What an idiot.
Yeah, Don Yee was born in Sacramento.
Fucking
God
idiot, dude.
damn.
Dude, EEI, that's the best part is because
Wait,
you
where was
know-
Tom Brady born?
San Mateo.
Yeah,
Born in the-
California.
Was he born in it? Yeah, same area. This is also, yeah, it's the Bay Area at least. So they're basically born in the same.
Nobody from EEI was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah, we should bail on this pretty quick.
Yeah.
No, they put flute music behind it.
It's 2018.
Oh yeah, this is recent. This is
Oh man, that's funny.
This is not old.
But
Yeah, that's why it kind of bums me out to see him catch touchdowns in this. And he,
I don't know.
First-
I'll give him a second chance.
So I guess Tom Brady kind of made Don Ye. He has been Brady's agent since '99.
damn. Since coming into the league.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Oh man.
And he's been his
Oh,
agent.
just I can see that look on your face. You're about to say something real fucking stupid. Then I'm gonna have to cut out of this. I can feel it.
You should cut this anyways.
What are we? WEI? Leaving it all in.
Oh man.
Fuck.
I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just stupid, you know.
Yeah. Speaking
It
of,
just more shows how dumb they are. Yeah, you know, like I don't think it's like particularly harmful. I'm sure Donnie's like whatever, you know.
Oh yeah.
It just shows how dumb they are that they're like.
But this was also the time when, like, I think Dennis and Callahan were getting in a bunch of trouble for like
they're the
right wing nut jobs and
See, those guys,
like,
I
super
actually think
racist.
are
Yeah.
problematic. Where
I think
Euphor-
Callahan is. Yeah, he's still like, on
Fourier's
Twitter and
okay.
shit.
Yeah, and I don't even mind the other guy that went to Barstool, but the Callahan, he's the one that's like,
Oh yeah, he has his
a
own podcast
legitimate
now and-
like problem. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know because I haven't listened to Boston Sports Talk Radio. Think.
Don't.
How were they this week?
Oh, I've checked out. I can't listen to him this year. Apparently, they were talking about how Belichick, the GM, has been tanking this whole time, and it's his fault that. And actually, looking back on it, Brady did better than anybody could have expected last year because he has no weapons, and the Patriots suck at drafting weapons, and the Patriots suck at
that's
everything.
funny. They weren't saying that last year,
Right.
This to give context, this is after week 6, so they are Patriots are currently 2-4.
Yeah, they
You
just
guys
want to
make predictions as to how this season will play out?
Yes.
Steven, go ahead. You have the floor.
We exposed Josh Allen as not good this game against the Bills.
Certified, stamped, not good.
Whoop him up. He throws a bunch of interceptions, plays awful. We crush him and spur that to go on a fat run.
So you're thinking 12-4 like I am?
Maybe not 12-4, but 10-6.
Okay.
Andy?
Who's the quarterback at the end of the season, Steve?
Cam Newton. They go on. They sort out Cam and they go on a fat run, and the offense looks like it did in the Seattle game and in the Raiders game and in the Dolphins game.
I'm with Steve on everything except the record. I think they go 12-4. I don't think they lose again this season. Similar to this 2003 season that we're about to do. I think because Edelman goes down, I think it's another changing of the guard. I think it's the Wes Welker to Edelman. I think it's now Edelman to Gunnar Olszewski. And he is going to be the new Julian Edelman, who is the new Wes Welker, who is the new Troy Brown. I think we're going to continue that, especially since he's number 80. It's all going to work out. So he's going to have a 1,000-yard season in 12 more games. No.
Well, I guess we'll have to agree to disagree, Andy, or I think they go 11-5, and you think they go 12-4. Greg?
I want to as soon as you guys started talking, my gut was to be like, we're going to go fucking 2-14. But I actually am I'm not as in the dumps about this team as I think other people are.
Me neither.
I mean, they've shown that they can play offense. We've done it with Cam Newton. He can do it. I think they're in disarray right now, but there's still a good coaching staff. Still one of the best in the league. You get back to basics. I think the offensive line is still good and talented, and now they're starting to get healthy. There's no reason they can't run the ball. And there's talent on defense. This team is too talented and too good a coaching staff to be a sub 500 team.
But Greg, they have no weapons.
I think
They never had weapons. I do think there's some legitimacy to like people underestimated what Brady meant to this team, though. Just from like
offensively, yeah,
keeping the ship righted, and situations like this where things don't go well. That's why the Patriots like never lose like multiple games in rows, because I think everyone's like, we have faith in Brady and Belichick, but once cracks show and you have new guys in there, it's like,
Well, they were talking this week about how all the old school Patriots, like Devin McCourty, have been asking the new guys who come in how they handle a losing streak.
Yeah,
they don't know how to do it because they've never experienced it before as a Patriot player.
It's crazy.
Like, so what do you guys do if you lose like 3 of these games in a row? Like, do we panic? Is that how this works?
Well, I'm going to say one thing, and then I'm going to bring it home to the Jets game again. And the thing that gives me pause is their inability to stop the run because they don't have really any fat boys in the middle. Everyone keeps getting hurt. And I'm surprised. Like, we saw that do them in 2002, right? That was a big issue with that team. That's why they didn't play well, because they just could not stop the run. And then we get the biggest fat boy on the market in the offseason.
Mount Washington.
Historically fat, as we discussed here today.
The Washington Monument.
And then he gets injured in week 3. So I'm interested to see how the Patriots piece together because he fractured his leg, so he's got to be out for a while.
Did he?
Week 10.
Christ.
He comes back week 10.
Yeah, so he's out for 7
Also,
weeks.
I looked at the Roosevelt Colvin thing. Wikipedia said he shattered the socket in his left hip.
Yeah, it was. I knew it was something like crazy like that,
dude. Ouch.
right?
Oh my god,
that's a horrendous
that'd be
thing.
so painful.
I don't even understand how that works. Ugh.
There's some like muscles and shit attached to that too. Like, God.
Oh yeah. Oh, the rehab on that's gonna suck.
That makes me feel not better, but I pictured Roosevelt Colvin as kind of a bust. Like I remember being excited about him. But if it was more injury related, then he couldn't fit the system. That makes me feel better for him. I don't know. You never want to see a guy not perform well. I mean, obviously injuries suck, but
right.
At least it wasn't just like he couldn't figure it out. Like
I think he's a cool dude too. From what I think it was him. He owns a cupcake shop.
Cupcake shop.
Yeah. Like I think it was his wife or something.
Didn't expect you to say cupcake shop,
right? But yeah, I think that's what he does. So he still does like radio interviews and stuff. Because when the Patriots were playing the Super Bowl in Indianapolis, what was that one?
I saw
one, maybe?
that same segment. There's somebody else with it as well, right? There's him and another player or something.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, so cool dude still.
Cupcake shop.
Yeah.
That's
but going back to
I think that'd be like Ted Washington.
Going back to WEI and talking about Brady. Speaking of Brady talking badly or having a hard time deciphering him, John Abraham in this game was quoted as saying that he can't get a handle on Brady's cadence, which was blatantly obvious because Brady, I think, had 3, maybe even 4 hard counts that drew just defenders off sides.
He looked like Aaron Rodgers out there.
This was peak Tom Brady hard count. I don't remember him using it recently.
Yeah, I was saying that.
When's the last time you've seen Brady try to draw somebody off sides?
Yeah,
he doesn't do it anymore. But he was real good at this game.
He, like I said, he looked like Aaron Rodgers out there. Aaron Rodgers has been doing that forever. That's pretty impressive. That's his version of Brady's quarterback sneak.
True. Yeah.
You ever seen the stats on Rodgers like free plays? They're insane.
Yeah, they're out of control. Because he just takes a deep shot every single time.
Because he does it so often. He gets so many of them that everybody on the team knows just go deep and we're just gonna chuck it up.
I wonder if they change it. Like people figured out Brady's through like film study or whatever.
Yeah.
And like Rodgers has like changed his cadence enough that he can still get people.
Well, that's what they were saying. Like, because they were talking about John Abraham and how he would study that on quarterbacks so he'd get the jump on them. He's like, I can't do that with Brady. I can't figure out what his cadence is. And they got him a few times.
Wouldn't that fuck with your own team?
Offensive line?
I don't know.
Unless you just tell them, hey, I'm going on 3. Because that's
maybe that's something to do with it. Is like you weigh like how often you're getting false starts as opposed to offsides, and if you're like it's not worth it to even try these.
Yeah, because the Patriots did do one of the. Hang on, see, they did do the whole trying to do drawing them off sides on 4th down that Greg hates.
I hate that.
But the whole sequence was amazing because it's 4th and 1, like just inside Jets territory. And they line up to punt it. Like they send the punt team out, line up to punt it. And then last second, I don't know how they managed to sneak him on, but Damon Heward is in there. And they tried something like this maybe last season or something, where they shift really quickly and Damon Heward gets under center. And then like they literally just snapped the ball and he did the Brady QB sneak because it's 4th and 1. But like right as they shifted, one of the Jets called timeout because they had no clue what was going on. And Damon Heward basically took the ball. Like as they called timeout, they hiked it. The refs gave them the timeout, but it was like a fraction of a second close. And Damon Heward basically just took off at a full sprint straight down the field. And basically, if the play had stood, would have had a 1-on-1 with Santana Moss to get in the end zone.
That would have been cool.
So, but then it gets called back because the timeout. So then they put the offense on the field, do a shit ton of motion. Brady's trying to do a hard count. And everybody's like, yeah, we know what this is. And then they call a timeout and come bring the punt team on and actually punt it. It's like it took like probably 5 full minutes of actual time
to get a punt.
To get a punt off.
And they just wasted everybody's time, including the viewers. They never think about me, the fan. You know?
How dare they?
This is an entertainment business. You can't just like get my hopes up and be like, we're going to go for this and then pull this bullshit like, what if we get them? Well, what if this is the 1 out of 1,000 times we actually trick them on this?
Well, that's the thing. You get them all relaxed and then you snap it anyways.
That's what they should do is do this, like let the clock run and then at the last second call it and play it. Yeah, because no one does that.
Nobody does that.
I agree. Nobody does that.
Yeah, and the whole offensive
line. What else
line,
they should do?
The defense line just sitting there going, okay, this is one of those things.
Don't jump off sides, guys.
Whatever you do, don't move. They're not ready for someone to come and hit them. Yeah,
they're not. Yeah, they're not going to get a push on it because you're.
I agree. Or we should go sell this to fucking Belichick.
No, you know what you should do is you should line up and then have your punter throw it to your center who's lined up as the tight end and have it bounce off his hands.
Yes.
Great play calling.
Bringing it all back, baby. Pro Bowl, Kevin Mawai didn't get in the Pro Bowl for his hands. Not as
Aaron Rodgers' free plays. He has nearly 2,000 passing yards.
On plays that don't count.
Yeah, love it. The next closest is Ben Roethlisberger. He has just barely above 1,000, so he's doubled up second place.
Damn. Well, all right. I think that's probably about it for this game. Yeah. You guys want your best and worst?
Best and worst. Yeah.
All right. Greg, what was your best and worst?
Oh, Greg gets to go first. He never gets to go first.
Well, he did watch the game. Oh, he didn't watch the game.
My best was Asante Samuel, 55-yard interception return for a touchdown. That's the game.
Taking over for an injured Ty Law, though.
That's fine.
Sign of things to come.
I'm not butthurt because the Patriots are making plays, you know?
You know who was butthurt, though?
I can root for two people at once.
You know who's butthurt about it?
Who?
Ty Law, because he came back still hobbling, like, very obviously, but came back
as butthurt.
He wasn't about to lose
that's what was hurt.
Job to Asante Samuel, the rookie. Yeah.
How do you know that's what was going through his head, though, or are you just projecting?
No, you could tell. You could see it in his eyes.
Oh, you could see it in his eyes.
Mm-hmm. Oh. I can read people.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. What am I thinking right now?
You're thinking I'm bullshit. I'm coming up with a load of bullshit.
Yes.
So yeah, I can read people.
Yeah, you're good at this.
All right, what's your worst?
How about fucking Herm Edwards? Like recycling that quote. That's what's getting me here because I listened to it and I was like, that's actually a pretty good quote. And then now that I know he just recycled it from the year before, you play to win the game. Like, dude, come up with new material, you know?
Right.
He's probably one of these coaches. Yeah, I bet he's one of these guys who's like, I don't read the newspapers either. Yeah, right. He saw how people reacted to the first time he said it, and he's like, people love this shit. I'm definitely using it. Yeah.
Before viral is even a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, I'll give you that. What about you, Steve Brown?
Okay. All right. Let's see. I'll go with my worst first.
Okay.
We didn't touch on this yet, but I've mentioned this earlier, how I think it's so dumb with the hat taking off thing for the referees.
Oh, I couldn't remember if that was you or if that was Greg.
Yeah, they just look like idiots. And then they all huddle up and one guy's got his hat. And then sometimes like they take their hat off and throw it off while they're in the huddle. Stupid. Yeah. that made its own appearance in this game where Vinny Testaverde actually threw a great ball down the sideline and Wayne Corbett just kind of barely stepped out and came back in and caught it for a touchdown. And we kind of got bailed out there a little bit because your boy Eugene Wilson just like fell over his own feet.
Yeah, he just
trying to like flip his hips and just
tripped over the 20-yard line.
Wayne Corbett's wide open and just happens to just step out just a little bit. And the game was pretty tight at that point.
He's a rookie. Cut him a break.
Asante Samuel is also a rookie, but he's returning interceptions for touchdowns.
Yeah, I think they figured out.
We'll see how that plays out, Andy.
Asante Samuel still thinks he can go today. He thinks he's trying to make a case for himself to be in the Hall of Fame on Twitter right now.
I'll sign him. He's a scamper guy. I like scamper guys.
It's pretty entertaining.
Yo, he just built different.
I have another worst, Andy. This one's dedicated to you.
Yo, that's sus.
Blue is sus.
Yo, this whole podcast is sus, though. Asante Samuel built different.
Greg's the imposter. Steve, let's hear it. I love dedications.
Your second worst is your buddy Dan Deerdorf's quote.
Fuck Dan Deerdorf. What was it?
It was on the Asante Samuel pick 6 that Greg's favorite play is.
Yep.
Where he like bats it up and catches it and has actually great ball skills.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, it's all luck.
Right.
Just
you also hear
the actual like great football play. I mean, might be luck that like Vinny Testaverde was behind center, but the actual play was a pretty high ball skill play, and he just totally disregards it for like 5 minutes and doesn't.
Ever since they tried the fake field goal where they were throwing it to an offensive lineman, which he used to be, they were talking about how many balls he had caught, which spoiler alert was 0. He was like, yeah, no, I had 17 touchdowns in my career. And who was it? Dick Enberg? Basically just like, no, you didn't. And so the entire time was like he was trying to like talk himself up as a receiver. And so I think that was part of it, was Asante Samuel making this great acrobatic catch. Like, well, that was just luck. I should know because I've caught a lot.
Big on this theme, and
get me riled up, Steven.
This should have me laughing my ass off because I was watching it with my roommate Abhi, who's from India, and I rewound it and played it again for him. And I was like, "Did you just hear that?" He's like, "No." So I rewound it and played it, and this isn't even a football or not football. This is the direct quote. "This is just power, Dick. Pounded away at the interior of the Jets."
Our dick football, baby. Theodore said that?
Yeah.
Oh, fucking course.
Who was his broadcast partner? Someone named Richard, right? I'm assuming.
Dick Enberg, yeah.
Dick Enberg. So this is just power, Dick. Pounding away at the interior of the Jets.
Power dick football, baby.
I feel like that should be like a video game when you're like a football game on your phone. Power dick football.
I'm taking that.
That should be a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Power dick football.
Shit pumping and power dicking.
Shit pumping injections.
Oh Christ!
I guess that could be a best. I don't know. Maybe
that's a best.
How high Brady was after his touchdown because he was stoked.
I'm writing that shit down.
All right, I'll go off of that. My best. Speaking of Power Dick football, I discovered a new football video game for your phone called Retro Bowl. I highly recommend it. It's free, and I have spent all week sitting on the toilet playing it to where my legs keep falling asleep and I keep not being able to get up afterwards.
See, I stopped doing that once I stopped going to the office. Used to happen to me all the time. It hasn't happened since March, coincidentally.
I can't help it. I live in a small house, so the bathroom is my sanctuary. If I need to just like have some me time, I go in there. I make it a big deal. Light some candles, bring my phone in.
Oh God!
Watch a video or play a game, read a book. Bring my guitar sometimes.
Andy, I'm going to be honest. This sounds sus.
Yeah, retro bowl on your phone.
So sus.
A retro bowl on your toilet bowl. It's great. I highly recommend it.
Retro bowl on the toilet bowl.
Is that your best?
Yeah. Also, if you want a game specific best, I would put Tyrone Poole up there. He had himself a great game. I think all the defensive backs did. They played a great
Tyrone, Olympic sized Poole.
Yeah, I think we said kiddie pool last time, but yeah, in this game he was Olympic sized.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had himself.
Kevin Mawai, you gotta be so rude.
That's a good one.
Like that one.
I was gonna say Kevin Hawaiian shirt.
Hawaiian shirt.
Oh,
that's good too. That's good.
My worst was as much as I talked about Kevin Falk being the MVP, he did make a mistake in this game. The Patriots called a running back pass, and Kevin Falk looked like a high school quarterback that he probably was by lofting it into triple coverage and nearly getting it intercepted.
He got lucky.
Which brought out the Dan Deerdorf. Oh, this is why they say that. This is why he plays defensive back, because if he could catch it, be a wide receiver. So he got to beat that dead horse again. So that was fun. And then one stat that I enjoyed that they showed kind of halfway through this game, the teams in the AFC that made the playoffs in 2002 all started 500 or worse. The Jets and the Titans both started 1-4. Steelers started 1-3. Browns started 2-4, and the Colts and Raiders started 4-4.
Yeah, this is the first time in NFL history that the two Super Bowl contestants did not make the playoffs the following year.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So the Raiders in the box.
Yeah, because they both fell the fuck off. Wait, the Bucks fell off too? No shit.
I read it on wikipedia.com, so it can't be wrong.
Must be true. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Don't forget we have our hotline to make it easy for people to tell us what they think of us. And why Greg should or shouldn't do more deep dives into fat people.
Oh, 603-505-8043. That number again. Get your pens ready. 603-505-8043.
Can you say it a bit slower for the people with the rotary dial?
The number 6. The number 0. The number 3. 505-8043.
Nicely you can text this number, correct?
Yeah, you can text that number. Yeah, it's a fully grown up phone number. You can text it, you can call it, and you leave a voicemail.
Who's going to be receiving these texts?
It's hooked up to my cell phone at the moment and my computer, so I may accidentally answer it. But we'll see. I can see both of you on your phones right now, and I'm a little worried what's about to come through. Just don't forget that if you send a dick pic, make sure it's funny, right, Greg?
Yeah.
So that if we post it in the show notes,
no dick pic talks. Mom said no, and Mom said no Willie talk on the air.
So do not send us any pictures of your Willie.
No Willie pics, dude.
No Willie Grams, please.
Andrew, can you confirm that you have received the Hotmail message? Ooh.
Yeah, I sent one.
Oh, he got it. You got it.
I sure did, and I can respond right on my phone too. So if you actually reach out to us, just be prepared that it is not just a one-way street.
What does GFY mean?
Stat check?
Sounds sus.
Sounds very sus.
It is. It means good for you, Steve.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
But that's
this
not good for me because I said Greg smells. Can we do something about that? And that's not good for me.
It is because you're not in the same room as him.
Yeah, but I can smell him all the way up here, 500 miles away.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yo, this podcast is on fleek.
I think this podcast is over.
Yeah. What a way to go out.
It's unraveling.
Hitting the high notes.
So if you have anything you need to say to us, 603-505-8043.
Hundo P. Yo, fam. Hundo P. This shit is lit.
And that's enough. All right, we'll see you next week for the last loss in
Patriots history.
A very long future.
Yeah. This next week is going to be Gucci.
Oh.
Yeah, fam.
Yeah, fam. Hundo P. See you next time. Hundo P.
So we'll see you next week. Maybe without Greg if he continues this on the Patriots Dynasty podcast.
Yo, you gonna do me like that, fam?
See you later.
See you later.